All right, so I'm in the middle of essentially trying to build out a LinkedIn automated outreach bot. I wouldn't really consider it a bot because you can't really do like 1,000 outreaches or something a day. You get limited by LinkedIn, so you don't get tagged as a bot. But so yeah, this is what I have so far. I've seen a couple other people build bots similar to this in other videos, but I feel like there's a few things that they're missing, especially with PhantomBuster and how to properly like track sends and receives. And so I'm like pretty much like what I did first was went through and kind of figured out exactly all the little modules that are in PhantomBuster. This is like the first time I ever used PhantomBuster. I was used Apify before, but this one just seems like the use case for LinkedIn is just a lot better because you can like script inbox and essentially create automations to pretty much automate your inbox in LinkedIn. So I have a couple modules that I just kind of added to my dashboard here, and then pretty much just went in and just started tweaking with them. Just started messing around with them a little bit. I've got a bunch of them in Make, so I'm doing this all through Make. So I'm going to use Make, Airtable, PhantomBuster, and OpenAI, as well as Slack. So I think what I'm going to do right now, again, too, this is like just me kind of working through the process to help make it best work for my team internally. We do apparel sales. That's our main thing at Custom Team Apparel. So we do, we run Google ads, we run Facebook ads, but we also want to increase our LinkedIn outreach to specifically target like leagues and like associations. Like a lot of high-end youth leagues and associations are on LinkedIn, and like their president will be on there and stuff like that, and like these associations have multiple teams. So this is what we're trying to target. We're trying to get to the president and then book a meeting with them. And we essentially we've looked at LinkedIn a few times and figured there's a good amount of leads here that are super qualified, and I don't think anyone in this space is actually automating LinkedIn to book meetings for youth associations apparel. So this is probably be like something that is new to this specific niche. So that's kind of one of the things we're going to try and do. And then we're also going to tie this into our cold email outreach. We run a lot of cold emails through Instantly. So what we're going to end up doing too is like once we send a cold email, then we're going to trigger a connection on LinkedIn and then inbox them as well on LinkedIn. So it's essentially like double tap method. That's nothing new, but we're just going to go through that process and try and see how that works as well for us. But yeah, so this is pretty like raw right now. I'm actually creating a second scenario because I have kind of a little bit of a map of what I want to do here. I'll go through each module a little more detail, but what I'm doing, this is our crazy Make scenarios. But so what I'm doing right here is I'm just gonna go in and create another. I'm just gonna call it PhantomBuster 2 right now because I don't really know. I don't really know what I'm gonna call it quite yet. But yeah, so right now I just ran essentially to like test the PhantomBuster. I just ran a search So let me go back to my dashboard. So I did like a LinkedIn search. Where did it go? Oh yeah, so LinkedIn leads. So this is pretty much what I did here. So I ran a search, found my link, and then exported I think it's like 280 people specific to my search. 268 people right here. So what I did just to kind of figure out how the data comes through and everything, I just did a PhantomBuster module and I did a get output. So then I just got that specific output from the Phantom ID. So if you go in here, this is not the ID. This is just like the output list. But in dashboard, go to LinkedIn leads. You go to setup, 3 dots, setup, and then you can get your number here. So this is it right here, 2303. This is the output. So then I ran that. So I got that output, and then I ran it through here. I can actually run it again. Let me run it again. I'm just gonna not run it through the end half of this, but so I'm gonna run this. So this is essentially the output you get is kind of like a bunch of bogus pretty much from PhantomBuster, but I think a lot of videos I see too, like people don't understand like how to actually get your JSON output. So essentially what you have to do is just parse the JSON link. So you go in here, create a text parser, and then just do it by pattern. So you parse this pattern out, put in the output from PhantomBuster, and then you're gonna go in and then you're gonna get a GET request for the JSON link, and then it's just a standard GET request, your token, all that stuff, and then it will pop out all the data then for the customer. So like now I have 272 outputs, and then this has everything I need. So profile ID, first name, last name, all formatted good, and then all I have to do is iterate it out. So I just go into the iterator, put in all the data right here from the HTTP request, and then it just gives me all my structured data. So then now it's super easy to go ahead and essentially build out. What I'm doing here is auto-filling a Airtable field. So I have my Airtable connected, not right now, but I went in and just backfilled this stuff because I'm trying to kind of do it like step by step and then see how I can tie it all together to then make a complete automated system. Like the goal is to get it to the point where I just have sales reps or BDRs just typing in like, all right, this is my specific avatar I'm looking for, and then it's going to create the link and then send it. Then once they hit send in Slack, then it sends it to that search module, searches those contacts, and then starts the outreach process. But for now, this is how we're doing it. We're doing it manually, step by step. So yeah, PhantomBuster for the output, LinkedIn search. That's step one. Obviously, I don't have an automated trigger yet. So then I'm parsing it out, getting the JSON, iterating through it, and then creating my records in Airtable. So Airtable is honestly like, this is the huge separator that a lot of people who are doing videos on PhantomBuster aren't really using. A lot of them are using Google Sheets. Google Sheets is fine, but Airtable helps you really organize your data the right way. Like essentially the way I have it set up is, so here's all the leads came in, but I have a module too that's qualifying them. So based on specific things in their bio or their industry, it's gonna only add qualified potential leads to this dashboard. So I'm not gonna add in a bunch of garbage. Like sometimes you do a search in LinkedIn and you might get like, say I search youth football, you might get a few people who are, it actually happened in this, like I got people who are like, director of marketing for the Washington Commanders. It's like that's not our customer. Like they're not going to buy anything from us. They work for an NFL team. So I have a little module. So this is how I got this filled. I essentially have a GPT assistant that comes in here and goes through the whole prompt of like, hey, you're acting my lead qualification assistant. Your job is to determine if LinkedIn profile provides belong to the qualified leads for our company, Olympus Team Apparel, a custom team uniform supplier for all sports. And then it's like, please analyze information below. This is what I'm asking it to do. And then I have LinkedIn details, so then I'm uploading all their details like this, and then I want it outputted in JSON. So then this would be outputted in structured data. So then I could go in and make filters based on the data or add it into Airtable. So essentially what I had here was I did have a filter that was based off of lead qualification. So let me go in, sorry. So down in here I have the thing potential lead, and it would say yes or no. So if it says yes, then it goes to Airtable and then adds it in. So I have all these also marked as yes, and then I put in the structured data as well of their about the lead. So I put this in here as well as the GPT thread so that I can go back and reference this later and not have to run a whole new GPT assistant and requalify them or finding more information for when I go into deeper conversation with this customer and try and book a meeting with them. But so essentially this is the table. We have as much information as I can gather from the search. Some of the stuff I just went and manually filled just because I had the info. I was on their page, so I just copy pasted it. But I also had it create an icebreaker, but I'm gonna change these. These are like way too generic. I kind of just set it all up, and I honestly didn't even test like what the what the icebreaker was coming out like. I kind of just turned it on, to be honest. Bad idea, and then walked away because it took like 45 minutes for it to like run through everything and qualify them and stuff. But so I like walked away for a little bit, and then I came back and realized like, damn, these are way too generic and like probably not gonna hit because there's nothing that's really tying them to us. It's like, hey, saw CMV's impact in youth sports and had to reach out. Like, yeah, I mean, I guess that's good, but hey, really impressed with how you shape basketball from coaching seat to the agent's desk. All right, so this looks like, yeah. So this one slid through. This is a FIBA sports agent, so not gonna be a lead, not gonna be a lead fit. I'm just gonna click in here, go no. But yeah, so there's a couple things that slid through. Like I think I had one other NFL agent that came in. But yeah, so hey, love the High Point athletes. Hey, love what High Point athletes is doing for Chicago's young athletes. Yeah, I mean that just sounds weird. So there's quite a few of these where I'm just gonna go in and delete them, but I'm also probably just gonna run a new icebreaker step before I send out all my connection requests. So I don't really like, I'm kind of a silent worker sometimes. So like sometimes I kind of just zone out and just like tweak a bunch of shit, see what I can do to figure it out, and then I could go in and explain kind of what I'm doing. But yeah, so I'm just gonna, so essentially what I'm doing now is I'm gonna change this to PhantomBuster. So this is just gonna be my trigger. This is gonna be my trigger scenario. So this one goes into post. Okay, yeah, so this one, essentially what it's doing is it's going in and then LinkedIn search URL. So this is going to be my form to search URL. So right now I did have it set up as a I did have it set up as a like a manual module. So let me I'm gonna go back to step 1 here. This outreach. All right. Okay. All right. Same one twice. Okay. All right. LinkedIn search. So what I do here is I essentially open this and I view mine, like you can do it form wise, like if you want to go in and work in PhantomBuster manually, you can do it, but I do it all JSON view, so then I could go in and pull all the info I need. So right now what I'm essentially gonna do is I need to pull this link. So I actually saw this, like, yeah, this one guy do this. It's pretty sick. So So essentially, what I'm doing off to the side is I'm talking with ChatGPT as I go through this. So that's one thing too. I see a lot of people, making these videos, and they're acting like all the knowledge is here, all the knowledge is here. It's like, dude, all the knowledge is on the internet. Like, if you can't figure it out in like 2 seconds, just ask ChatGPT. Give it a lot of information, but like what I do a lot of times too is, like, if I'm getting errors in here, like I'm just screenshotting and uploading it right into ChatGPT and be like, hey, I'm getting this error. Like, can you tell me why? And then it'll troubleshoot it for you. And that, honestly, like, we've built some insane systems since pretty much November of 2024 to now. So about 7 months, and yeah, our like systems and processes have gone like through the roof. And it's mainly because Make, Airtable, a couple big tools that we implemented, especially in the apparel space. Like, there's a lot of data, a lot of different data points. So yeah, it's just a little side note. So right now, what I'm doing is trying to. I feel like 3-year-old, but like I have, all of our assistants set up. Like, we have a million different GPT assistants built for specific things. But what I'm trying to do is I want to message the system, but not an agent, not an assistant. So that's what I'm trying to figure out right here. Because I know, like, you can do an N8N pretty easily. But honestly, I have only used GPT assistants. So it might be the one I need right here. Oh yeah, here we go. Alright. I'm gonna use, so these are GPT 4.5. So here we go. Alright, so now this is what I'm gonna do. So this is why I copied this. What I'm gonna do is, Alright, so I'm over in a side chat and I'm working on getting this Alright, I guess I accidentally closed my shit. So what I'm essentially doing is creating a prompt where I'm gonna send, once someone sends a Slack message in, it's going to generate a search URL for LinkedIn. So essentially what I did is I just went in ChatGPT and said, I need a GPT prompt what I said is I need to write a prompt for GPT to replace search values in this link based on a request. So then it prompts me with this, comes back with this, that it needs base URLs, XYZ. Arrow parameters are geo, yearn, industry, keywords, profile language, service category, and then maintain proper URL coding, blah, blah, blah. And then I'm going to just put in my max tokens, and then we're going to test this right now. I'm essentially going to test it right in Slack. So I have a Slack channel. I'll pull my Slack up in a second. Let me see. I have a specific channel that I built that I just test a bunch of these triggers before I open it up to my team. So I have this channel right here. It's essentially just a AI assistant channel. So I'm gonna just see how this works pretty much. So service category. So I'm just gonna take this and then lead scraper. So what I like to do too here is you can easily set it up where you find the bot ID and then just put if user ID or bot ID is X, don't send it back through, because essentially you just create a loop in this situation where ChatGPT would just talk to itself. I've done it a couple times. Honestly, I thought it was hilarious because I did not know what the hell I did. But so what I'm gonna do is just create a key. So I just do exclamation point search, but it's gonna be contains. So it's gonna be text contains exclamation point search, and then it will go into ChatGPT. And what I'm gonna do is just test it and make sure the output is right. Again, too, like this is nothing new. This portion, I watched someone do this on YouTube, and the way they did it though was they did it through Apollo, and they did it through like a form submission. So mine's a little different, but it's still the same. So I'm not this portion of it. I'm not creating anything new. This is nothing new. A lot of videos on the how to start a trigger here. Geo, location, industry. I'm just gonna put sports. Search words, search keywords. Youth baseball. Let's see what we get with youth baseball. And we'll go profile language, English, service, list of LinkedIn service categories. I'll be like, ideally, like what I do here is coaching. So I'm gonna forward to that, turn on, and then I'm gonna hit send. And then we'll see what happens here. Oh, you know what? I actually might have this set up to the wrong channel. Yeah, I had it set up to the wrong channel, I'm pretty sure. Cancel, close. I'm just gonna create a new one real quick. I'm gonna just put Phantom 1, new private channel message, and then make sure we get this channel, AI assistant, save. All right, so then essentially what I'm gonna do is just copy paste this and send it again. Send, boom. All right, it's not working. Not working. Oh, there we go. All right. Third time's a charm. Third time's a charm. Output, message, content, text. Oh. Well, this is hilarious. Yeah, so a couple more steps here. Nah, that was just stupid. But yeah, so since we're doing it through a to be honest, it'd be 1,000 times easier to do this through a form. I might actually just do it through a form, because through a form, it's essentially going to be structured data from the rip. Through Slack, it's going to just be not structured at all. So, see. I'm trying to think of what form I want to use. Alright, so I'm gonna use fill out. This is what I usually use for forms. I use fill out. I use a lot of different apps, but fill out's a good one. It is really good for connecting with Airtable, because you can do like dynamic fields and have them like automatically pre-fill stuff and all sorts of cool stuff. So let me see. I'm just gonna essentially just create a bunch of short answer fields right now. I think it's 5. Let me see. Alright, just so I can read. So it's crazy too because I saw a couple people build this too and like low key like didn't even finish the build and tried to do it in an hour and we're like, well, this is how you do this in an hour, and then at the end it's like not even a final product. But there's some like I feel like you gotta play around inside of PhantomBuster a little longer than like an hour or two, and then have just a little bit more understanding of how everything works before you can essentially create a so essentially what I'm going to do is just connect this to a webhook. So custom webhook. Yeah. So this is going to be super easy fill out. So copying this, paste. Actually, might need to add one. No, I don't need to add one actually. Let me see. Test. Request failed, waiver is no longer active. It is active. I just don't have it on. So wait for new data. Alright. Test it. Boom. What? Did you provide the endpoint contact support? The fudge balls? Alright. I'm gonna create a new one. Just gonna call it Phantom. Phantom 1. Add API key, my auth key, save. Excuse me. Alright. Nope. No worky. Come on, bro. Okay. Copy, Addy. Alright, yeah, so when webhooks fucking are not used, apparently, for a long time, they stop working. Okay. This is fucking annoying. Close. Edit. Okay, yeah, I'm using that. Custom. Okay. No. Alright. Alright, redetermine data structure. Okay. No. Dude, what the schmuck balls? Response will be set to. So this field doesn't make any sense. Industry, youth, baseball. Industry, sports, youth, baseball. Profile language, English. Service category, coaching. Alright, I'll hit submit. Oh my gosh, sports. I do that all the time. It just looks like a form. Alright, coaching, submit. Alright, here comes all our data. So, yeah. Alright, for some reason still coming in as a JSON, but that's fine because a little trusty tool here called parse JSON. So just go up here, pop this guy here, pop this string in, and then I'm actually gonna just run it one more time so we can parse this. Restart sports. Alright. So we got, yeah, so popped out questions, short name, industry, all this good stuff. So we're just gonna have to iterate it, I guess, out. Just kind of but. So it says quiz, not a fucking quiz, but alright. Questions. So we're gonna this. So we're gonna run it again. Restart. Alright. So now we got it down to this. So the only thing that sucks is so yeah, that kind of sucks because it's essentially going to if I do it that way, it's gonna suck. Because the thing that sucks is the way this comes in is like fucking ass. Because essentially it comes in super ass from a webhook, super ass. So like from a webhook it comes in as a JSON string, then you go in, you have to parse it. But essentially you would want to text parse it first to remove a bunch of the random bullshit. But let me see, because questions, because I mean the way you want it to come out is structured data that's not like this, because like when I go to put this, ideally you want to just like map it like, all right, here's industry, and it would be, I guess you could do coaching too, but you'd want it to be like, here's industry and then coaching, and then that would be the way it's structured. So I gotta figure that out. All right. So I'm back. I went and got a coffee break. It was my mind was not doing good. So I think I got an idea of what I'm gonna do here. Essentially, I think I'm gonna map this into a Google Sheet. So so here we go. So publish this preview. Just gonna type in sport. So yeah, as you can see though, a lot of testing goes into building these, and especially too if you want to build something that is, actually functional and it's not. I got an error because my webhook's off, but something that's actually functional, and not gonna kind of shit the bed over time. So what I'm gonna do now is just go in here, and then rather than doing all this JSON and stuff like this, now I can easily just map sheets. Easily just map these in here, but I don't think I can do it like that. That's annoying. But yeah, the reason I'm using Google Sheets for this, because like the search query doesn't really matter to like track. I mean, you might want to search it internally, like, hey, like we already reached out to this type of search before, but I'm not worried about that at all. Because also too, like there's a process on the backside of PhantomBuster where it will combine, like if it sees your script in the same profile, it'll combine their profiles and just update their information. So no worries. Watch changes, search rows, update row, add row, search rows. Actually, yeah, this makes no sense now. So I can just do it straight up from Google Sheets. Actually, I don't know why I was even have a webhook in there. It makes no sense. All right, watch new rows. My drive, spreadsheet. Oh my gosh. This actually might be. Come on, bro. Come on. Alright, so I'm just gonna map it in by sheet ID. Oh my gosh. So I'm taking sheet ID here, copying it. Alright, enter manually. Here we go. Spreadsheet ID. There we go. Sheet name. I think it's just sheet 1. Yeah, sheet 1. Sheet 1 limit. We're gonna limit 1 per pull. Specific ID. What? We'll do all. I'm just gonna run this module and make sure I get the shit I need. So now this is gonna work the way we want it to work. Thank God. Sometimes brain don't work very good, especially on a Friday. Brain don't work, but it's all right. It's all right. It's all right. It's all right. So I'm gonna just try and map it like this. I don't think it's gonna work, to be honest, but again, hey, we're figuring it out as we go. We're figuring it out as we go. So I'm gonna choose where to start here. Boom, choose manually. Just gonna choose first record and then just run this whole shit and shebang. See what happens. All right, let's see it. I just think I need to. I just need to. Alright, profile language and then service category. Coach. Alright, save. We can do run. Oh shit. So yeah, when you test this, I just choose manually every time and then just test it. Sometimes I forget to click choose manually. But alright, output. Let me see. Yep. Alright, here we go. Let's see what we got here. Longest. God dang freaking Jesus. Things forever. Alright, here's my output. I think this is the whole thing, but let's see. Alright. That's not right. IT services. Yeah, I mean, so it looks like we got some people in here. We got some volunteer, past head travel baseball at Deerfield Youth Baseball and Softball Association, volunteer youth baseball coach. So, I mean, some of these are good. Like obviously, not gonna be able to get in touch with this dude. But yeah, then it says like current member board of directors at Sun Prairie Youth Baseball and Softball. Yeah, so like this is our ideal person that we want to connect with. But don't I think there is some kind of like limitation on our connection request based on if we're, you know, we're less than a third connection away. But I'm not sure. I think that's horseshit actually. But and I think we can find a workaround. But yeah, so I mean that works pretty freaking awesome. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna just map this URL into here, and we're gonna see if it works or not. So let me. Sometimes if that doesn't come through, like what I've noticed is like you either gotta save just the module and reopen it, or save the whole thing. And like sometimes I just refresh the whole thing. But yeah, so I already have this module built out, by the way. So this is, like I showed you before, I'm legitimately just taking this JSON module and copy and pasting it into HTTP request. You can do it right through the Phantom module, but this is not as good. The HTTP request is a little more reliable, actually. I don't know why. I've just found a lot of problems with the with the uh, with the like PhantomBuster tools, even everything in Make. Like a lot of times I just do a regular HTTP request rather than like a make an API call through the module because it's not as good for some reason. All right, so this for some reason is not showing what I want it to show. So what I'm actually gonna do here just to get the data out is I'm gonna Alright, so what I'm going to do here is just add a filter and put response. This is just for testing purposes. I don't want to send this search through right yet. I want to make sure it's mapped right, and I don't want to just have my Phantom running for no reason. So I'm going to run it again, put a filter so it stops, but then it's still going to show the structured data and HTTP request. So, alright, here we go. Alright, so I got my little LinkedIn search URL. We have, hopefully we have an output now. It says we do, but I don't think we actually do. Output, content, text. I don't know why this is giving me such a hard time. Alright. I think I'm gonna have to do it like this though, for real. Alright, I'm gonna test this a couple more times. See if I can figure it out. Alright. So,
Take a little break there, but where we left off was essentially building out this trigger from the Google Sheet to then go into create a record um, based on qualification. So it's creating a record in Airtable, and then once it's created in Airtable, it would then go in and send a automation to um, well, it would start a new scenario that every day it would send, X amount of requests. But right now, so essentially what I'm doing is this is my reply. Essentially what I'm creating is a inbox, LinkedIn inbox automatic reply bot. So this is LinkedIn Phantom Scraper, inbox scraper. What it does, takes container ID, waits 60 seconds because it takes about 20 to 30 seconds for it to process the messages that it scrapes from the inbox. Um, and then it goes in and takes container ID, gets it, parses it, it parses the data, pulls all the data from the container ID, the JSON, and then we pull the JSON, get all the information. What we're doing though is we're searching our database because the thing that's sucks about um, the information they give you when you scrape it, you don't actually get their LinkedIn profile um, link. So what I had to do is essentially search my database to find this person in the database, pull their LinkedIn profile link. Then we go into our GPT sales assistant module. I have my whole prompt on the back side in OpenAI, so I can pull that over. So this is my prompt here. So, so I have all my prompt here. Let me go just put some caps in here. But so this is my prompt for I call it LinkedIn BDR. Tested a couple times in Playground, and then all I'm putting is the message from the lead that's pulled from the data right here, and then first name, and then lead information. So the lead information I do have um, essentially logged in Airtable from step one, but then I also have the GPT thread from step one. So not only am I going to put in the information from that run, but also the GPT thread so it remembers like, all right, like this is what I know from this conversation about this person. And then what it does is it goes in here to message sender, and then we have the HTTP request, all this information, profile URLs, message control. We put message control to none because what it was doing was logging information in their database, which then would, if you already replied to that person, it will not reply again. So we had to turn that feature off. So and essentially now like it's always just going to read your inbox and then reply back. And then we have enable scraping true. So what it's also going to do is it's going to scrape their phone number, per personal email, and professional email at the same time. So then not only will we have their information via LinkedIn, but then we can also have their information too to update our CRM. And then ideally though, we want them to just book a call straight from LinkedIn. So we're not getting them in the CRM and then contacting them because technically, like, yeah, we scrape their information, but technically, like, you know, we don't have like uh technically don't have permission to email or call them or text them. So we want to get permission by essentially just booking a meeting. That's the goal here. So I have a essentially uh, I had my brother message me on here. So yeah, so I just have some messages right here. What's new with the track barn? So I'm just gonna run it based on that. Run a test, see what happens. Um, just wait here for a second. Okay. So it looks like all right. So let me go to, for some reason, Inbox Scraper was saying that weird, super weird. Yeah, so that's whoa, whoa, huh. Yeah, so I guess it didn't work. So I did get an error. Weird. Let me check my email. I don't want people to see my personal email. But yeah, so looks like problem with Inbox Scraper, but that's weird. Said I got an error, invalid session cookie, and then I got a success message right afterwards. So super odd, super odd. So let me refresh. I'm gonna try it again. I'm just gonna run it again. Should work. Just gonna take a second here. All right, so this one worked. So it's coming through. Actually gonna pull my inbox over. So, whoop. So it says it went through. We'll see. All right, I'm waiting for this. All right, execution untitled, wrong. Untitled LinkedIn. So we got an error. Oh, let's see it. Let's see what we got here. LinkedIn message sender. It fucked me again. Ah, invalid argument. That's what it's trying to tell me. Oh, gotcha. I think it just yeah, that's why. It just pulled nothing. Just kind of crazy that it pulled nothing. Somehow it's empty. Not sure. So our inbox, for some reason, empty. Not. So it says, oh, okay. Connected successful as, okay. So it says it pulled nothing. That's what it's trying to tell me. So I guess I didn't trick it good enough. I know what it is. I just have too many freaking LinkedIn's open. So, mark is on red. So that kind of happens sometimes. Like if you have too many LinkedIn pages open and like one's red, one's on red, it'll mess it up. So, all right, we try again. All right. All right. Looks like it all went through, but I keep getting this weird error. So let me see. All right, so generate a good message. Are you interested in learning more about what we have to offer this season? Looks like this is LinkedIn message sender. All right, it's still processing. It's running right now. So, all right, we'll see. We'll sit here and wait for it to process. Hopefully it goes through. If not, I might just, I don't know. No, I'm just kidding. I'm joking. Oh, there it is. We got it to work. It worked. So he's gonna message me back. So I'm gonna run it again right now and then see if it pulls that message. Yes, tell me more. So we'll see. We'll see right now. So right now I just have it in like testing mode, obviously, but I would probably set it to scrape my inbox. Yeah, like I'd say like every 2 to 3 minutes probably. I have it scrape, probably every 2 minutes. And then essentially what I am gonna end up doing is like create a router where it will actually analyze the message first that's being sent. And then, if it seems like disinterested or still interested, then like it'll go down a specific channel of conversation. But but yeah. for now, this is what we got right now. All right, it's coming through. Let's see if it does it. Yeah, pulled it again. It's should run. Yeah, it's running again. Okay, let's see it. Let's see it. All right. So yeah, if I turn this on to go every 2 minutes, essentially the goal, like I don't even know what the second match is gonna be. I didn't look at it, so it's gonna be once it pops up, it'll be news to me. And then obviously like I gotta go in and like adjust some of the communication to make sure, we're s- you know, bringing that customer down the right path. Right now, this is kind of just a testing phase, but essentially it's just going to be, a LinkedIn, what I call it is LinkedIn BDR. So like we would, search those connections, invite all those connections, by filling out the form. This would trigger the whole flow, put in your information, what you're searching for, triggers the whole flow, scrapes all those leads, you know, goes through, qualifies them, yes, no, adds about information, sends a connection request, messages them an icebreaker message, then goes into um there's like first message, second message. So we could do first message, second message, then on reply. So then it'll be obviously on reply. So they accept it, they get the icebreaker, they don't say anything, we send a message, they don't say anything again for however many days, we send another message, then they reply and they say, all right, like I want to know more. And then that's when the inbox scraper comes into play. Yeah, so um all right, so yeah, so there's already like a weird thing there where it's saying Gavin again, and then it sounds a little roboty. So let me see. I'm gonna just go in here and edit this real quick. Actually, let me edit the prompt from here. Yeah, so the other thing too, so this is actually, so I don't have a thread ID for my brother. So like essentially what's happening is like it doesn't know what it said the last time. So what I'm gonna do, I'm actually gonna pull the thread ID from this. And I'm gonna update it because like I'm just testing on my brother right now. So all right, so now it's gonna have a log of the thread ID, which is good. All right, so here we go. So what I'm gonna do too is I'm actually gonna edit this a little more. So what I'm actually gonna do, so yeah, so let me go back to dashboard. So it's always interesting with some of this shit. file search, code interrupt functions. So drag file to click upload. So what I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to go into, so here we go. So here is my, watch this, watch this. So sure. Okay. So pretty sure I can just download this. CSV contains table columns with links that expire after a few hours. Learn more about. Okay. Okay. So what I'm gonna do actually is I'm gonna upload my whole entire product catalog to this bot. Oh my gosh. So sorry, I'm doing this on the back side right now. So I'm just from Airtable, I just downloaded all my products pretty much. And then what I'm doing is I'm just gonna clean the CSV a little bit. I'm only gonna put in information that makes sense. Like, so let me see. So obviously don't wanna put some things in here like our cost would be not ideal. Um, descriptions. All right. So other than that, I think it looks fine. So I'm gonna file, download CSV, upload this. So, all right, where the freak is it? Um, is it not gonna let me do a CSV? I think it might. Is this file search tools? System. File search. Once the file search tool is enabled, the model decides when you retrieve content based on search in progress. Okay. Yeah. I've never done file search before, so just do a create a thread. We have few known limitations. We're working on adding support for common months, support for pre-search filtering using custom metadata, support for parsing images without documents, support for or structured file formats like, yeah, better support for some reason. Yeah, okay. So I probably would have to do a vector store, which is fine. Return product process launch base. Create all products. Yeah, so I think PDF docs. Yeah, so what the freak is this? Alright, so create assistant. think I could just tie in. Says what? Okay. Freak balls. All right, so I mean, I could. Well, let me see. So let's fit with. So yeah, we'll see. Don't think this is gonna work very good because it's a shit ton of data points in here. But we'll try it real quick. Yeah, I don't think it's gonna work. I don't think it's gonna work. Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, I don't think this will work at all, to be honest. All right, so I'm just gonna test it and say I need jackets. All right. Okay, so it does pull it, but I don't know if it's really gonna be what I want it to do. But all right, so this is correct. Yeah, and sent me a message. All right, let's see what it does now. I'm gonna run it. Track and field warm-ups. Needs track and field warm-ups. So we'll see. We'll see right here. Okay. I don't even know. I have a certain 3 days of runtime. How did I run it? Oh, I've already used an hour and 3 minutes. Oh, yeah. Good. Yeah. I might have just got an error, I think. Oh, successful. Okay, so that works. I think. Yeah, it's sending right now. So again, I didn't look at the message. We're just gonna see what it comes out like. Should be sending here soon. Let's see. Hopefully it works. All right. All right. So sent another message. Um, I'm gonna go in here and well, pause this. All right. So I'm gonna end this video here, but so essentially what I essentially have, this is actually step three. So essentially what we have is step one and step three complete. Step two, I'm going to do a whole video on step two and then tying it all back together. So step one, filling out the form, creating the search link for LinkedIn, searching those contacts, OpenAI is qualifying them based on their profile, job description, all that stuff, updates our database in it, Airtable. Step two would then be go through those profiles. I'm going to start with 5 per day, and then it's going to send the connection request. And then in that connection request, it's going to send icebreaker, first follow up, second follow up. And then once those are complete, and then we get an inbox message, either interested, uninterested, then it goes into inbox scraper, helps qualify that customer, and then ultimately books them a meeting. So that is the ultimate goal, is to book them a meeting. What we're doing too as well is we're gonna have to also, step four most likely is scrape the whole entire conversation and then add that into the notes in our CRM, in Nexus CRM, of how, what the conversation was for the sales team. And then we're only adding them to the CRM though when they book a meeting. So they book a meeting, they get added to the CRM, meeting link sent, notes are put in for the whole conversation. Sales team gets those notes. They know what to talk about. They know where the conversation's going or where it was going, and they pick right up there. And then that would be the whole entire flow. And that should be done in the next video. I think that would probably take another hour-long video to tie it all together and then tie it into Nexus, the whole meeting booking, all that stuff. So this would be a pretty powerful solution for a lot of businesses. But takes a lot of time, takes a lot of testing. But if you get it right, you know, spend the time now and then expand later. So that's it for this video.